I was gripping the steering wheel with one hand, the other holding a wrapped gift box that cost me $2,500. 10 years. That is how long I had been the financial backbone of my family. Today was my mother's 60th birthday, and I had planned everything perfectly. But something in her voice when she called yesterday made my stomach turn. I wanted to believe this time would be different, that maybe, just maybe, she would finally see me, really see me. Before I tell you how a single birthday party destroyed my family and forced me to make the hardest decision of my life, I would love to know where you are watching this from. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let me take you back to the moment everything changed. My name is Cobb, and I am 28 years old. I work as a software engineer, pulling in a solid six-figure salary that I worked my tail off to earn. But money has never bought me what I really wanted: respect, appreciation, love that was not conditional on my bank account. Let me paint you a picture of my family. My older sister Diane is 34, unemployed, divorced, and raising two kids on her own. Well, not exactly on her own. I had been paying for their groceries, school supplies, and pretty much everything else for the past 6 years. Then there is Kyle, my younger brother. He is 25, dropped out of college after one semester, and has never held a steady job for more than 3 months. He drifts from one gig to another, always with an excuse about why the last one did not work out. Our father died 12 years ago in a car accident. I was 16. The grief nearly destroyed our family, but it also forced me to grow up fast. I started working part-time jobs while finishing high school, anything to help keep the lights on. When I got accepted to a state university with a partial scholarship, I worked nights at a warehouse to cover what the scholarship did not. 4 years later, I graduated with a degree in computer science and landed a job at a tech company. That was when everything changed. Or rather, that was when the demands started. At first, it was small things. Help with the electric bill 1 month, cover the car insurance when my mother fell behind, fix Kyle's car when it broke down for the 3rd time. But small things became regular things. Regular things became expected things. And expected things became my entire financial life. For the past decade, I have been the one paying the mortgage on my mother's house. $1,500 every single month. That is $150,000 over 10 years. The utility bills, the internet, the cell phone plans for all 3 of them, another $40,000 easily. My niece and nephew's private school tuition, because Diane insisted public schools were not good enough, $30,000. Kyle's endless car repairs, his rent when he got evicted, his groceries when he was between jobs, another $15,000 at least. I kept a spreadsheet. I am an engineer. I track things. The total came to $235,000. $250,000 I poured into keeping my family afloat, while they never once asked me how I was doing. Never once said thank you. My mother's words whenever I hesitated were always the same. This is your duty to your family, Cobb. You are the one who made it. You are the one who has to take care of us. So I did. I took care of them. I sacrificed vacations, new cars, my own apartment upgrades. I drove a 7-year-old sedan while Kyle was posting photos of his weekend trips to Atlantic City. I ate ramen for dinner half the week while Diane was getting her nails done every Saturday. And I told myself it was okay because they were my family. Because that is what family does. But this birthday, I wanted to do something special. I wanted my mother to look at me the way she looked at Diane and Kyle. With warmth. With pride. So I spent 2 weeks planning. I made a reservation at this upscale Italian restaurant downtown, the kind with cloth napkins and a wine list thicker than a phone book. I invited 20 of her closest friends and relatives. I personally called each one to make sure they could come. The dinner alone was going to cost me $3,000. But the real gift was the diamond bracelet. I had been saving for it for months, skipping lunches and canceling my streaming services to squirrel away enough. $2,500 for a delicate white gold bracelet with small diamonds arranged in a pattern that caught the light just right. It was the kind of thing I saw her admiring in a jewelry store window 2 years ago, back when I still believed she noticed what I did for her. In the days leading up to the party, I called her every evening to check in. "How are you feeling, Mom? Are you excited? Is there anything you need?" Her responses were always short, distracted. "Sure, Cobb. Everything is fine. Do not forget to pick up Diane on the way. She does not have gas money. I should have known then. On the day of the party, I arrived at the restaurant 30 minutes early to make sure everything was perfect. The tables were arranged beautifully, flowers in the center, candles flickering softly. I checked the menu one more time with the manager, confirmed the cake order, and waited by the entrance like an anxious host. Diane showed up 45 minutes late, claiming traffic, even though I knew she lived 20 minutes away. Kyle arrived an entire hour late, strolling in like he had all the time in the world, not even apologizing. But when my mother walked in, everything in me lit up. She looked lovely in the dress I had bought her last Christmas, her hair done up nice. And then I watched her hug Diane. A long, warm embrace, the kind that makes you feel safe. She hugged Kyle next, ruffling his hair like he was still a kid. When she got to me, she gave a brief nod and a pat on the shoulder. "Thanks for setting this up," she said, already turning away to greet her friends. That small gesture, or lack of it, felt like a punch. But I pushed it down. This was her night. I was going to make it perfect. Dinner was lovely, at least on the surface. Everyone was laughing, telling stories, enjoying the 5-course meal I had arranged. But I started noticing things. Every time I tried to share something about my life, my mother would cut me off. I was telling one of her friends about a new project I was leading at work, a really exciting machine learning application, and she interrupted. Cobb always loves to talk about his job. He is very proud of himself. There was this edge in her voice that made it sound like an insult, not a compliment. Then she spent 10 minutes talking about how Kyle was looking for better opportunities and how Diane was such a strong mother handling everything on her own. I sat there stabbing at my risotto, feeling smaller with every word. When it came time for the gifts, I felt a flicker of hope again. Maybe this would be the moment. Kyle went first, handing her a bouquet of plastic flowers he clearly grabbed from the supermarket. They still had the price sticker on the bottom, $5.99. My mother clutched them to her chest like they were roses from a royal garden. "Oh, Kyle, you know me so well. I love these. So thoughtful." Diane gave her a picture frame. It was not even new. I recognized it from the thrift store we had passed a month ago. There was no picture in it, just the stock photo of a random family smiling. My mother teared up. "This is so sweet, Diane. Thank you, honey. Thank." She kissed her cheek. Then it was my turn. I pulled out the carefully wrapped box, the one I had spent an hour in the store getting just right with elegant paper and a silk ribbon. I handed it to her, my heart hammering. She took it, set it on the table, and slowly unwrapped it. When she opened the velvet case and saw the diamond bracelet inside, there was a pause. Just a pause. She stared at it for maybe 3 seconds, then closed the box. "Thank you, Cobb." That was it. No smile. No hug. Just thank you. Her friends gasped and leaned in to see, cooing over how beautiful it was. One of them, a woman named Margaret, said, "Oh, Gloria, your son is so generous. You must be so proud." My mother just nodded and set the box aside like it was a pair of socks. I felt something crack inside me, but I kept smiling. I kept playing the good son. After dinner, I drove my mother home. The house I had been paying the mortgage on for 10 years. Diane and Kyle followed in Kyle's beat-up sedan, the one I had paid to fix 4 times in the last 2 years. When we got inside, I was about to say goodnight and leave, but my mother stopped me. "Stay for a bit, Cobb. We need to talk." That phrase, "we need to talk," it never means anything good. I sat down on the couch, the same couch I bought 3 years ago, when the old one fell apart. Diane and Kyle plopped down in the recliners, and my mother stood in front of me, arms crossed. The warm birthday party energy was gone. Now she looked serious, tired, maybe even annoyed. "Cobb, I need you to help Diane with something. She has gotten herself into a bit of credit card debt, and she needs it paid off." I blinked. "How much?" $8,000. I felt my jaw tighten. "Mom, I just spent $5,000 on your birthday. I have been paying for this house, the bills, the kids' school. I cannot just write an $8,000 check." My mother's face hardened. "You make good money, Cobb. Diane is struggling. She has 2 children to take care of. You are single. You do not have those expenses. You can afford it." Diane jumped in, her voice dripping with accusation. "You have always been selfish, Cobb. You make 6 figures, and you act like helping your own sister is some huge burden. We are family." Kyle nodded, crossing his arms like he was the enforcer. "Yeah, man. You got money. You should help us out." Something in me snapped. I stood up, pulling out my phone. I opened the spreadsheet I had been keeping for years. "You want to talk about family? Fine. Let us talk about family. I pay $1,500 a month for this house. That is $150,000 over 10 years. Utilities, insurance, phones. Another $40,000. School tuition for your kids. Diane. $30,000. Kyle, your car repairs, your rent. Your groceries. $15,000. I have given this family $235,000 in the last decade." The room went silent. For a moment I thought maybe they would understand. But my mother's expression did not soften. It hardened. "That is your responsibility, Cobb. You are the one who went to college. You are the one who got the good job. It is your duty to take care of your family." "What about their duty?" I shot back. "What about Diane getting a job? What about Kyle holding down steady work? Why is it always my responsibility?" Diane started crying. Fake tears, the kind she always used to manipulate situations. "You do not understand what it is like, Cobb. I am a single mother. I am doing my best." "Your best," I could feel my voice rising. "Your best is going to Las Vegas twice a year while I am paying off your credit cards. Your best is getting your nails done every week while I am eating leftovers." Kyle stood up, stepping toward me. "Do not talk to her like that. Or what, Kyle, you are going to do something. You cannot even keep a job for 3 months. Do not act tough with me." My mother slammed her hand on the table. "Enough, Cobb. If you are not going to help your family, then maybe you are not the son I thought you were." I froze. "What did you just say?" I said. "If you cannot help your family, then you are not the son I raised. You are selfish. You are cold. And frankly, I am disappointed in you." The words hit me like a sledgehammer. I looked at Diane, at Kyle, waiting for someone to defend me. No one did. "Mom," I said slowly, trying to keep my voice steady, "I have given everything to this family. I have sacrificed my own life to make sure all of you are comfortable. And you are calling me selfish because I will not pay off Diane's credit card debt that she racked up buying things she does not need." My mother pointed to the door. "If you cannot help, then leave. You are no longer my son. Get out of my house." I could not breathe. The room was spinning. "This is not your house, Mom. I am paying for it. I have been paying for it for 10 years. I do not care. Get out." Diane and Kyle sat there in silence, watching. Not one word in my defense. My mother walked to the door and opened it. "Out. Now." I walked past her, my legs feeling like lead. The door slammed behind me so hard it shook the frame. I stood in the driveway staring at the house, my hands trembling. And then for the first time in years, I let myself cry. I do not remember the drive back to my apartment. I just remember sitting in my living room at 2 a.m, staring at the wall, replaying her words over and over. "You are no longer my son." I did not sleep that night. I could not. By the time the sun came up, something had shifted in me. The sadness was still there, but underneath it was something sharper. Clarity. I opened my laptop and started going through my accounts. Every bill, every service, every single thing I had been paying for. The mortgage on the house, the utilities, the phone lines, the car insurance, the credit cards, the streaming services, all of it tied to my bank account. My mother had said I was not her son anymore. Fine. If I was not her son, then I was not responsible for her bills. I spent that entire Sunday mapping out a plan. I was methodical, calm. I was not angry. I was just done. Monday morning, I called the mortgage company. I told them I would no longer be making payments starting next month. They informed me the house still had $80,000 left on the loan. If payments stopped, they would send notices. If those notices went unanswered for 3 months, they would begin foreclosure proceedings. I asked them to send all correspondence directly to my mother. They agreed. Tuesday, I canceled the phone lines. 3 lines. One for my mother, one for Diane, one for Kyle. I also canceled the internet service. Then I called the electric and water companies and had the accounts transferred to my mother's name. No more automatic payments from me. Wednesday, I called the insurance company. I canceled the car insurance for my mother's vehicle and for Kyle's. Without insurance, they could not legally drive. If they got pulled over, they would be fined, maybe even arrested. Thursday, I logged into every streaming service: Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime, Hulu, all of them tied to my credit card. I canceled every single one. Then I called the credit card company and had the supplementary cards I had given to my mother and Diane permanently deactivated. Friday, I wrote an email. I kept it short and professional. Mom, as of today, I have canceled the following services: mortgage payments, utility payments, phone services, car insurance, streaming accounts, and all credit card access. Since you made it clear that I am no longer your son, I can no longer take on the financial responsibilities that come with being part of this family. I wish you, Diane and Kyle, the best of luck moving forward. Please do not contact me unless it is an emergency. Cobb. I hit send. Then I blocked their numbers. The first week was quiet. No calls, no texts. I threw myself into work, staying late at the office, taking on extra projects. Anything to keep my mind busy. The second week, my phone started ringing from numbers I did not recognize. Kyle had gotten a new number somehow. He left voicemails screaming at me. What did you do? My phone does not work. The internet is gone. You are destroying this family. I did not call back. The third week, Diane showed up at my office. The receptionist called me saying I had a visitor. When I came down, Diane was standing there, mascara running down her face. She grabbed my arm. Cobb, please. My credit card is not working. I cannot buy groceries. The kids need food. I gently pulled my arm away. Diane, you can get a job. You can apply for assistance. You have options. You just do not want to use them because you have been relying on me. You are heartless, she hissed. You are ruining us. No, I said calmly. I am finally taking care of myself. Security, can you please escort her out? The fourth week, my mother called from a neighbor's phone. I almost did not answer, but something made me pick up. Her voice was shaking. Cobb, what have you done? The bank sent a letter. They are going to take the house. The electric bill is overdue. Kyle got pulled over and his car was impounded because he does not have insurance. You cannot do this to us. Mom, you told me I was not your son. You told me to leave. I am just respecting your wishes. There was a long silence. Then quietly she said, I did not mean it like that. Yes, you did, I replied. You have meant it for years. You just finally said it out loud. She hung up. 1 month later, my mother showed up at my apartment. I almost did not open the door, but I heard her crying through it. When I finally opened it, she was standing there with Diane and Kyle behind her. All three of them looked exhausted. Cobb, please. I am sorry. I was wrong. Please help us. We will lose the house. I looked at them, really looked, and I realized something. They were not sorry for what they had done. They were sorry they were facing consequences. Mom, I said, my voice steady, I love you. But I cannot keep letting you take advantage of me. You have 2 other children. They are adults. They can help you. But they do not have money, she said desperately. Then maybe they should get jobs. Maybe they should learn what it is like to work for something instead of expecting it to be handed to them. Diane stepped forward. Cobb, please. I promise I will change. I will get a job. Just help us this one more time. But I had heard that before. I will change. I will do better. It never happened. It never would. I shook my head. I cannot. I am sorry. I closed the door. 3 months later, I heard through a mutual acquaintance what had happened. The bank foreclosed on the house. My mother had to move out. She ended up moving into a small apartment with Diane and the kids. It was cramped. It was far from the comfortable suburban home I had been paying for. Diane finally got a job, part-time at a grocery store. It was not much, but it was something. Kyle found work at a warehouse. He complained about it constantly, but he kept showing up. They were learning slowly what it meant to be responsible for themselves. I wish I could say I felt satisfaction. I did not. I felt something closer to relief, like a weight had been lifted. I was not their ATM anymore. I was not their backup plan. I was just Cobb. And for the first time in a decade, I could breathe. I started seeing a therapist. I needed to process everything. The guilt, the anger, the grief. She helped me understand that what I did was not cruel. It was necessary. You cannot set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm, she told me, even if that someone is family. I started reconnecting with old friends I had lost touch with because I was always too busy working to support my family. I went on my first real vacation in 10 years, 7 days in Mexico. I sat on the beach, drank margaritas, and did not think about bills or responsibilities. It was glorious. I bought myself things I had been denying myself for years. A new laptop, a nice watch. I joined a gym and started taking care of my body. I picked up guitar again, something I had loved in high school but gave up because I did not have time. I even joined a cycling club and met people who liked me for me, not for what I could give them. And then I met Amanda. She was a software engineer too, working at a startup downtown. We met at a tech conference, started talking about API integrations, and ended up getting coffee. Then dinner. Then more dinners. She was smart, independent, and she understood what it was like to work hard for everything you had. When I told her about my family, she did not judge me. She just listened. And then she said, "You did what you had to do. That is brave." For the first time in my life, I felt like someone saw me. Not my bank account. Not what I could do for them. Just me. I learned something important through all of this. Family is not just about blood. Family is about respect, love, and mutual support. It is not one person carrying everyone else while getting nothing in return. Being a good son does not mean sacrificing yourself until there is nothing left. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is self-respect. And sometimes the people you love need to face the consequences of their actions. Not because you want to hurt them, but because it is the only way they will grow. I stopped feeling guilty. I stopped wondering if I did the right thing. Because I did. I gave them 10 years and $235,000. I gave them everything I had. And when they demanded more, I finally said no. A year after that birthday, my mother sent me a text. It was simple. "It is my birthday next week. Would you like to come?" No demands. No guilt trips. Just an invitation. I thought about it for a long time. Part of me wanted to ignore it to keep the distance I had built. But another part of me, the part that had been healing, wanted to see if anything had really changed. I decided to go. Not because I owed them anything, but because I had healed enough to face them without falling apart. I bought a small gift. Nothing extravagant. A candle set from a local shop. $20. Thoughtful, but not a sacrifice. When I arrived at Diane's apartment, the difference was striking. It was small, maybe a third of the size of the house I used to pay for. The furniture was second-hand, but it was clean, organized. There was a sense of effort I had never seen before. My mother opened the door. She looked older, more tired, but there was something different in her eyes. Humility, maybe. She hugged me. Not a quick, obligatory hug. A real one. "Thank you for coming," she said quietly. Diane was in the kitchen cooking. She waved at me, a little awkward but genuine. Kyle was setting the table. They were actually working together, doing things for themselves. We sat down to a simple meal. Spaghetti and salad. Nothing fancy. But it felt more real than that expensive Italian dinner ever did. During the meal, my mother looked at me and said, "Cobb, I owe you an apology. I took advantage of you for years. I treated you like a wallet instead of a son. I am sorry. I am learning to do better. We all are. I looked around the table. Diane nodded. Kyle looked down at his plate, then met my eyes. Yeah, man. We messed up. I am sorry. I did not cry. I did not hug them. I just nodded. Thank you. That means a lot. We still had a long way to go. Trust is not rebuilt overnight. But it was a start. When it was time for my mother to open gifts, I handed her the candle set. She unwrapped it, carefully smiled, and said, "This is lovely, Cobb. Thank you." And this time I believed her. As I left that night, walking back to my car under the streetlights, I realized something. I did not need their approval anymore. I did not need them to validate my worth. I had learned to love myself first, and that was the most important lesson of all. So if you are out there carrying the weight of your family on your shoulders, wondering if you are selfish for wanting to put yourself first, let me tell you this. You are not selfish. You are human. You deserve to be loved and respected, not used. Setting boundaries does not make you a bad person. It makes you a strong one. Sometimes love means saying no. Sometimes it means walking away. And sometimes the greatest gift you can give your family is teaching them how to stand on their own. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to choose between your family and your own well-being? How did you handle it? Drop your story in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And if this story resonated with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who might need to hear it. Thank you for listening, and remember, taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. Until next time, take care of yourself. You deserve it.